Johny, we saw markets moving positively, a lot of enthusiasm there. Presumably this is a European story, a policymaker story once more.
Yeah, I think it started off in the East today, just more speculation perhaps around China easing, and then obviously the Europeans back from holiday trying to sort out the issues that they've got there, and some early indications of sort of positive news drove the market higher. Volumes were very low though, so I think some of the moves were accentuated in the low volume.
So difficult to trust these numbers, right, Johny? So we need more volume. And strangely, the VIX, the US indicator of volatility in the market, still at pre-crisis levels. So all not quite what it seems.
I got asked about the VIX a bit earlier on the radio as well. I mean, I think it's sort of misleading to look at the VIX on a daily basis, particularly when volume is so low in August. And also historically, that VIX can move sort of violently very quickly, and just because it's low now doesn't mean that in a week from now we're not talking about the VIX at 40. So yeah, I mean the VIX can move very quickly in a very short space of time.
Johny, you might have heard the interview we've just had with Whitey Basson from ShopRite. It seems as though this was a strong set of numbers. It must have taken the market by surprise. The share price improved on the detail there. What's your feeling on what they've done?
Yeah, I guess you started off your interview talking about the fact that there wasn't a trading update. So I think some people were a bit concerned going into the results. Last week we had the sort of horrific incidents at the platinum mines, and I think that took some sort of shine off the South African market. So ShopRite was pretty weak going into these results, and I guess there was a bit of relief buying today on the result, which came out sort of maybe a bit sort of tad below expectations, but sort of a generally solid result all round.
We've got Massmart tomorrow, Woolies on Thursday, so it is very much a big retailer week. We saw you refer to the platinum event from the past week, and you see that influencing appetite, including appetite for our retailers, which have enjoyed strong interest from foreign buyers.
Sorry, I missed that last part.
I'm just talking about the sentiment shift towards South Africa and how that's influenced our retailers, given how interested foreign buyers had been in our retail sector. So negative implications perhaps in the short term?
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. Obviously, there were sort of quite tragic events at the platinum mines, and I guess our concern is that that doesn't spread sort of more widely. Generally, I think the retailers have run hard. Both local and foreign investors made quite a lot of money out of the retailers, and I guess those events did cause some people to take some money off the table of the retailers, particularly the foreigners who now own quite a large part of the free float of the South African retailers. Expectations,
Johny, for Massmart or Woolworths or of the other coming retailers in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, I mean we had some sort of guidance from Massmart. I mean their results are a bit more messy than sort of ShopRite. There's a lot bigger sort of movements in foreign exchange, and also still some deal-related costs in the comparatives. But they certainly the guidance that they've given to date doesn't seem to be as strong as ShopRite was today.
Johny, moving to the banks, we saw this talk. I'm not sure if it's a rumor or if it's confirmed by the banks that ABSA and Barclays are talking about merging their African operations. And the question in my mind is, what took them so long?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The original deal was sort of 2005, 2006, and we've been talking about sort of ABSA and Barclays, combining their African operations for some time. Today, in fact, there was an official sentence that went out saying that they are now ABSA effectively now under cautionary. I guess some of their plans would have been delayed by the global financial crisis. Barclays, in particular, got hit quite hard in that crisis, and I guess at that point didn't want to negotiate as they would be on the back foot. Perhaps they feel that now is a slightly better time to start looking at Africa. I guess the risk is competition is increasing quite significantly in Africa, and I guess ABSA and Barclays want to get the correct platform to start to roll out and cement their leadership in that area.
Johny, if I could just ask you briefly in conclusion, if you had to looking at the banking sector, what would your selection be from the sector? Is it the hard-hit ABSA, or is it the Glory Boys, First Rand and Nedbank?
I mean, our view has been for some time that Investec looks much cheaper than the local stocks. So our order of preference would probably first be Investec. Then looking at the big four. I think Nedbank has been underloved for some time and is now sort of coming up with some pretty good results. So I'd probably put Nedbank ahead of the pack, and then our concern is around unsecured, so we would probably have a lease preference for the likes of an Able or a Capitec.
Johny, thank you. Johny Lambridis is Portfolio Manager at Element Investments in Cape Town.